Welcome back to the Blue Collar Bench. We had a pretty good weekend, some pretty interesting outcomes, and we got a lot to get into.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and just start on the dirt. Start there.
On the dirt. All right. So, very interesting weekend out there in Indy with the Supercross Triple Crown. We both expressed our opinions. Triple Crown is definitely the best racing format out there.
Definitely looking forward to it.
And start off. Number one, last episode we were talking about how Hayden Deegan let his emotions get the best of him, and I know we're probably sounding like a broken record talking about this Deegan rider, but he is a big name in the sport, so it's and he is a great racer. But I think this past weekend, he did have another issue. He got in a wreck on the final race on the hole shot. Mm-hmm. That one was 100% on him.
Yeah.
I think he might have cross-rutted, bounced into a tough block, but he managed to show that maturity that we saw at the beginning of the season and saved a podium. Of course, with the Triple Crown format, of course, every race counts, but he was able to, I think he was back to like 13th place after the whole shot, and he ended up working his way up into the top 5 on that final race of the night.
Yeah, he definitely managed to come back, which was crazy because when you think you're going to fall right on the whole shot, you're done for that race.
Yeah.
But he managed to get through, get ahead of a few racers, and like you said, save that podium.
Yeah.
Which was huge for him, just to show, like you said, the maturity and him being able to get over that, kind of put it on the back burner and race through, finish the race.
Yeah, and I think as I just said, it's showing that he is becoming a mature rider and racer in the sport. And actually, if you watch the broadcast, I think Carmichael said it, after last week, he did end up going home asking his dad, what needs to happen. And I think his dad had a family meeting. Basically, everyone in that family races, so everyone has been through the same issues as he has as a young rider. So, his dad's giving him pointers, his older sister's giving him pointers. And then I think Deegan even did reach out to Eli and ask Eli for some advice as well. So,
which is crazy because that's what we talked about him doing.
Exactly.
Is he going to do it? He's got all the weapons and things around him too. How can I become better if not the best at one point?
And that's 2 weeks in a row that these professional athletes have been taking our advice. First it was Scotty, now it's Deegan.
We just got to keep, not necessarily bashing them, but let's just put them on the hot seat.
Put them on the hot seat.
Put them on the hot seat.
But no, overall, it was a great race. McAdoo ended up taking home, the win for the night, and he now takes over the points leader in that 250 East Championship Series. But
it was good to see him get back up there and race.
It was, but I think my favorite highlight of the night was Tom Vial. After coming off back-to-back wins, winning in Daytona, winning in Birmingham, he gets sent to Indy. Now, this was the first track that he's had to deal with the whoops. Mm-hmm. Because, Daytona, it was muddy. No one was really hitting him. There wasn't any whoops no whoop section in Birmingham. So
it's crazy.
And he stated, that's from a European outdoor motocross rider, the scariest obstacle they have to face coming into the Supercross series is the whoop section, because they don't have those in any outdoor track. There's no outdoor track out there that I've ever seen that has it. Or let me phrase that, no outdoor motocross style track. So it was nice seeing him to get another podium finish. He wasn't able to keep the red plate through the break, but it is showing that he is still a championship contender.
He's definitely a contender. He's shown that he's not going away. And it wasn't, first one you're like, maybe he got lucky. Does it twice, like, this guy can race. And even the third one, had a few struggles, managed the podium.
Yeah.
He's there to race. It's going to be interesting in there. Like you said, they're going into the break. It's going to be interesting to see what he tweaks, what he fixes, or if he comes out cold or hot when he come back. It was nice to see that. Like you said, Deegan there, McAdoo winning. It's nice to see him getting back up there. He's obviously got the speed, and he's
yeah,
just got to keep it going.
And McAdoo definitely has put in the work for it. I mean, now he's had to race and battle up against the Lawrence brothers in the past. We thought, with the Lawrence brothers moving up to the Premier class, we kind of thought McAdoo was going to take this East title, or at least it was going to be between him and Deegan. And now we got McAdoo, Deegan, and Viall all right there at the top. So it's shaping out to be an interesting final push of the season. Of course, we're going to be going out west to see some of these West Coast riders again.
Coming off their break.
Yep.
And same with them. How are they going to be? How rested are they going to be? Are they going to be able to come out? Is it going to change up a lot of things? Are the points going to flop? Where are we going to go? It's going to be interesting to see. But speaking of a points flop, and something that was so close, and still is, he keeps winning.
Oh, you're talking about the kid?
Talking about the kid.
The number 18. He, I think this is now win number 4 on the season. Might even be win number 5.
I think it's win number 5. It's his third in a row.
Yeah.
I do think it's 5.
Yeah, it is definitely his third in a row, which they've, even Carmichael said it on the cast. That's the hardest thing to do, and it's for whatever reason getting that third win in a row. He said getting win number 5 and 6 is easier than getting win number 3 in some seasons. So
yeah, which is crazy to look at, and also crazier when you look at the format that he did it in. When he won the last 2 and then comes into here into a Triple Crown, and essentially dominates the Triple Crown.
He did.
And
now I will don't take it away from Roxon. Roxon, I thought for sure was going to end up taking that last race of the night.
He raced him so well. I mean, he really did, and same as last week. You give the kid clean air, and he's gone.
I think that was a lot. I mean, Kenny definitely had the faster hole shot. He had the faster first lap. Might even have the fastest second lap. But you could see as the race was going on, Lawrence was, I guess you would say, he was faster in a lot of areas, and he was smart with his passes. And even in the last race, because in the Premier League, I mean, going into the final race whether or not you have to win or not. He knew he didn't have to win. I honestly didn't think he was going to push it too past Roxon, but he ended up passing him and doing that clean sweep over the weekend.
And I think they were talking about that. They said, how is he going to perform in a Triple Crown? Because they said, yeah, you've won, but you haven't won this.
Yeah.
And I think he took that as, fuel to the fire, and he's like, I'm going to win all 3, and I'm going to win it all. Yeah. And he did, with the best score possible you could get. He proved, once again, I'm here.
Yeah. And he's
21 points, I think.
Yeah.
I remember, which...
Because you had Cooper right behind him, but Cooper didn't put a good showing out there in Indy. And he was one of the guys that I thought was going to be the favorite because he just always races
really well.
The Triple Crowns well. He races it smart. He knows what he's doing. But Jet was just fast. I think there's a lot of people out there who are either really happy about Jet winning or really pissed off that Jet keeps winning. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that you can't do nothing but sit back and watch it and see history being made, because Jet Lawrence is going to be this generation's Ricky Carmichael.
He's going to be around for a while.
And he might even, depending on how long you race, he might end up beating, Jeremy McGrath's all-time winning record. Which is, I mean...
It's crazy to think about in year 1.
Yeah.
But seeing what he's put on now, and... Yes, he's winning. He's done it in dominant fashion. Not to take away from these other riders, because they're all the way back to 7th and 8th place. They were crazy fights for position. I mean, there was it 3rd and 4th? All they had to do was just pass one more person to jump into 2nd or jump out of 2nd, and it was a race the entire way. And that's the nice part about a Triple Crown is even though you don't win that race, you still get a chance to podium.
Yeah. And it makes it better because you don't have to wait till the last race of the night. You don't have to, wait 4 hours into the event to see something that truly matters. Mm-hmm. And I mean that not in a derogatory way, but it does make it to where the full 4 hours of coverage that we're all sitting at home watching this race, we actually, all 4 hours is meaningful. Each race has a lot of weight and a lot of purpose or meaning behind them. So
every race matters. You're not just trying to finish in the top 9 just to qualify. Like, you're trying to win, and that's race 1 to race 3, and it's great to see, and I do think it keeps the intensity up, and it just makes for a great race night to watch. I mean, there was never a dull moment because everyone was pushing the entire way.
Yep.
So because I know even when you have your first heats, if they're out of the top 9 and they're like, yeah, I'm not going to get back, let's just take it slow, learn some stuff, they'll wait for the LCQs. You couldn't wait here. You had to go for it.
Yeah.
You had to go for it. So it was get back up. Like you said, when Deegan fell in the final race, got back up, placed up to, I think, 13, and it saved him his night.
It did. So. And it was definitely a good showing for him, a good showing for Jet. I did see another name that was creeping its way up the leaderboard with Chase Sexton. He was starting to get more comfortable on his bike. Don't know. Might be too big of a points gap for to make a run for it, but we're only halfway through the season, so.
And it's crazy because Jet is continuing to lead. They need something big to happen as far as him to just not place a few races, not get to the final event.
They need Jet to have those breakdowns where he wrecks, late in the race and doesn't finish in the top 10 or something, which is very possible to do because Jet is, as I said before, is a all or nothing rider. I mean, he's going to ride that bike till the wheels fall off every single race, and it makes it very exciting and fun to watch. But I know as his mechanic,
it's gonna catch up.
His mechanic's just praying that something doesn't break on that bike each time he comes around.
Yeah, because he's definitely pushing that bike, and I mean, even the times you're looking at they're doing double jumps, he's hitting the triple every time he's got the chance for it. I mean, he's going for it. So his bike is definitely taking a wear and tear higher than the others.
And there was...
It's got one hell of a mechanic, though, because it's standing the test.
Yeah, there was one section in particular on the Indianapolis track. It was coming into that whoop section. There were a lot of riders. They had a roller, or what could have been a roller jump, and leading into the whoops. Roxon started it, early. He would jump over the roller to kind of get some momentum, get some downforce in the front suspension before he hits that whoop. Jet, towards the last race, was not only jumping the roller, but he was getting 2-3 whoops into the section. So that bike control alone
crazy
is just it shows why he's winning the way he is and the fashion he is, because he has so much trust in the bike, so much control on the bike, and he just makes it look effortless. I mean,
he is floating over these tracks. I mean, good weather conditions, indoors, he's just floating down the track like there's not even anything there, like it's flat.
Yeah.
I mean, because just to do that jump and land alone, but let alone land into the whoops. That's it's impressive to see, especially when you think about he's not a veteran rider. He's not been doing this at this speed with this group of guys for years. It's year one, and he's just taking the chance. He sees the opportunity, he's going for it.
Yeah.
So it is nice to see that. I do kind of want to see someone start to chase him down, keep it a little interesting, because these first several weeks, it's been close, and it's still close. It's not out of there. I mean, like you said, all or nothing. He's either getting first, or he's finishing outside of the top 15. I mean, it's crazy.
And there's a good chance that someone might end up catching up to him, because like we were saying, there's still a lot of racing left, and it's all it takes is one bad finish, and the points gap can drastically change, and we might be looking at possibly a three-way competition coming into the final weeks out there in Utah.
Yeah, which would be crazy to see. They're not far off, and like you said, he's pushing that bike while the rest of them they're getting their points and they're staying within range. So it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, they're going out to Seattle, getting back to the West Riders, getting them back on the track. Let's see if they can hawk down Jet.
I'm excited about Seattle. Kind of like with Birmingham, having a football stadium, so there was a 100-yard hole shot. We're having the same thing here in Seattle coming up, and
those are fun because it opens it up right away, and you get some speed right there. Could also see some bad things though if they can't take that turn well because it funnels quick.
It is Seattle. I really hope the weather's nice out there. It feels like every other year they're out there. It's either rain or sun, rain or sun, rain or sun, and we had sun last year. So let's hope we have sun again this year.
It's gonna be a coin flip, but we're gonna watch it either way. It's gonna be a race.
And
I would love to see a sun race.
I am excited to see Levi Kitchen in the 250 because I think the fact that he is winning in the fashion that he has been, and he's now on that Kawasaki team, which he was on Yamaha last year, came to Kawasaki, and he looks like a totally different rider now. Yep. It looks like he's already ready to make the jump up to 450 with how he's riding, which is crazy because everyone thought RJ Hampshire was just going to run away with the West Coast championship.
He's got competition.
Levi Kitchen is right now, the favorite to win for a good reason. He's racing very well, so I am excited to see him race again this weekend.
And it's going to be big, especially being after that break, the several week break. How is he going to come out? Is he going to maintain that? Is he going to keep going? Is RJ going to kind of step on the throat and go?
Yeah.
I think it's going to lead to a real good race. Like I said, hope for great weather because this is a track that you can see some crazy things on. It should be a good race, good speed. I'm excited. Get the West Riders back in, give the East a little break, well-deserved break because they've been racing hard. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting going back west.
Yeah.
Now,
talking about
some impressive things.
Yeah.
And to some, not quite like the kid, but he's making a name.
Yes. And
we had the Players Championship this weekend down in Florida. They're on their 3-week stretch. Some phenomenal golf the last few weeks, and we had Xander Schauffele, Wyndham Clark tied going into day 4, and the defending Players champ, Scotty Scheffler, was 5 strokes behind going into day 4.
Yep.
5 strokes behind. That's a lot. That is a lot when you look at it, unless you're the number 1 player.
You're the number 1 player with a brand new putter that you are
draining.
And there was a lot going right for Scheffler on Sunday, and in fact, we'll go. I mean,
his mental focus is insane lately when it comes down to moving day.
Well, this 15-hole run, where he goes birdie, 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 par, 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 eagle. Which I don't know if you got the chance to see that eagle. I was watching.
Beautiful.
That eagle was phenomenal, and he almost didn't even if any of us shot that, even if I chipped it in for par from that distance, I would have probably thrown the club, running and screaming. He just did one little fist pump.
He's like, yep.
And then on to the next one.
And
so then after that eagle, he followed it with birdie, par, par, birdie, birdie, par, birdie, birdie. Mm-hmm. And kids, if you are 5 strokes behind, all you have to do is shoot 8 under on day 4, and you have a chance to potentially win.
Yeah, and it was crazy because he was 2 or 3 groups behind the leading group at the time, and they weren't moving. And they call it moving day, which is Sunday, because that is the day you need to get some points, you need to move up, because you're going to go out before the leaders, and if you post a good score, that's going to be in their head.
Yeah.
Scheffler came out, posted a good score, shot the 8 under, posted minus 20, and had a phenomenal showing there. I mean, Xander Schauffele and Wyndham Clark they should 3 birdies and they were in.
Yeah, 3
birdies. That's all it was.
They should have easily have been able. Well, Wyndham Clark almost did force that playoff.
He's been playing well. I mean, last week he had Scotty Scheffler win, Wyndham Clark come up on the rear and finish second. This week he had one last putt going downhill from the edge of the green, and half of the ball was in the cup, and then rolls out. Mm-hmm. It's become a game of inches. And
the most depressing story of all that was he had the 2-step fist pump ready to go
because it should have went in. I don't know
Tiger
how
Woods fist pump, and then he saw that lip out, and it was just like utter shock.
Immediate heartbreak for him because he's been so close, but it also goes to show you he's there to play too with the number one, so he's right there.
Yeah.
And Scheffler even had a chance to birdie, I think 17 or 18, and be 2 strokes ahead, which would have pretty much closed the door. He did miss it, just barely. So, shooting 8 under on day 4 is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
To do it the amount of times he's been, and to just take over on day 4, he's shown why he is he's number one in the world.
And he's shutting us up. He's shutting up the haters.
Yeah, we just had to start talking about him, didn't we? Let's just talk about Jordan Spieth or something.
Yeah. Let's get some of these other names out there. One thing that was pretty interesting, obviously, TPC Sawgrass. The reason it's so famous is the island hole on 17. Shane Lowry getting that hole-in-one, and then he was probably 6 inches away, maybe less, from getting a second hole-in-one on the same hole on the same weekend on St. Patrick's Day.
Which is crazy. So, I mean, just to hit a shot to keep it on the island green itself. But to hit the shot and go perfectly in. There was a few guys, too, that they were dialed in. They had the shot. They had the distance. And there was actually one, I don't remember who it was. I'll have to look back. He hit past the pin, and it rolled back, and there was too much roll on it. And it rolled over the cup and then into the water, which was crazy. And then hits his hazard shot, which is now hitting 3, and almost sinks that one. So these players, they're getting used to it. A lot of them are playing it consistently, so it's always exciting to see. And hole-in-one is kind of one of those things like, you're never going to see one.
This is also, Shane Lowry was also the guy who hit that albatross shot a few weeks back. So just because he's not number one on the leaderboard doesn't mean he can't make some spectacular shots. Cause
no.
A hole-in-one on 17 and then an albatross, which an albatross I think is actually more rare.
I think that's more impressive because you're basically hitting a 2 on a 5.
Yeah. Which
you got 5 strokes to get par, so ideally you want to get to the green in 3. He got to the hole in 2.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Crazy.
That's definitely impressive.
And Shane Lowry doesn't have the distance that Rory McIlroy has off the tee either, so it's not like he's driving to the green. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I do have to ask though, what's the likelihood you think we could make it on that green at 17?
The likelihood of even getting on the course, I don't know if you've seen the price. The price alone, that's just hurt feelings out there. But
let's just
if we're just playing 17, do we have a Sunday pin location or a Thursday? Because that's going to play a difference.
I didn't ask if we were making the hole, just on the green. If you think that my skill level is going to matters where the pin's located, then you're putting a lot of, I guess you would say, faith into my lack of skill when it comes to the golf course.
I'm definitely going to have to club up too because I want to make sure I'm at least giving it a shot.
Yeah.
Because you always get... every time I get water in front of me, I could be hitting a club perfectly at this distance. The next water hole could be there. I'm hitting it short every time.
Yeah.
Every time. I think it'd be fun. How many balls do we get? Just one?
Sure. I mean, do you think you can make it in one?
No.
No.
No, it's rolling off.
I might as well go to the range, get just a bucket, take it out there, and I might get,
might get 1 out of 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another big story that happened this weekend from the Players' Championship, was it Thursday? We had another incident with Rory McIlroy and a ball spotting occurrence, actually on 2 separate occasions.
2, yep.
And he was actually paired with Spieth and Hovland, which now that I know a little bit more about the rules, it made more sense now. But Rory was asking Spieth and Hovland, hey, where did my ball cross? Where did it go out? And where should I drop? And now, obviously it's up to Spieth and Hovland to tell Rory where he can drop the ball, because the best way I was explained is Spieth and Hovland are not only protecting themselves versus Rory, but they're protecting the rest of the field. So there was an incident where Rory wanted to drop his ball. It might have only been 10 yards in front of where it actually crossed, and Spieth said, "No, you got to go back."
And he was asking, Victor, "Are we okay with this drop?" Is this because now watching golf, there's so many cameras everywhere, and we have so many different angles, and we can literally watch a camera that's dedicated to, like, hole 17.
Yep.
They don't have a replay official. They don't have someone that can go back and look, all right, where exactly did it go?
Which is crazy.
It's
the only sport that doesn't have that.
And look at the $25 million purse for this weekend, and you don't have a way to replay and look at it, and it all comes down to your group and like an honor system, and you have to agree on it.
It's because this game was invented like 5 centuries ago, and the rules have stayed the same.
Yeah, it stayed the same, and it's one of those crazy rules that we have to change it later. And there's actually a few things this weekend that came up with rules that are somewhat outdated. But yeah, it was crazy to see because he did try it twice, and I don't fault him because if I can get away with an occasional foot wedge out of the trees to give me a better shot, I might do it if we're playing for fun.
Yeah.
But, it is one of those things, like I said, $25 million prize purse, so they're looking at that. Hovland and Spieth ultimately had the final say. They're like, are we good with this drop? And they said yes and moved him back.
I think they did finally get a rules official out there after the fact, but, I don't know if it's just...
Well, they were even asking the people on the side. Yeah. Did you see where it went out? Because they're standing there, they're watching. There's people all over. And there is that fine red line that if he landed above it, he can drop there. If it landed below it, he didn't cross the water, so he'd have to go back to the tee box. That was the original big one.
Yeah. How about, I'll have to look up, was it Ekro?
Ekro with the putt
ball
that didn't drop right away?
Which, it's another outdated rule, because,
They give you 10 seconds once the ball stops moving.
Yeah.
Now, his sat right on the edge.
Yep.
And you could kind of see it still rolling, which technically means it's not stopping. So does the 10 seconds start? It shouldn't.
No, the 10 seconds...
It's once you walk up to the ball.
From the rule analyst that was, on NBC, Golf Channel, he stated that you have 10 seconds once you walk to your ball. But now you cannot delay your walk, which I think is BS because we've seen it.
72 practice swings.
But that's another thing, is the 10 seconds only applies to when you're on the green.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of made no sense to me, but, if you're out there in the middle of the fairway, you can practice swing all day long. You can switch between different clubs.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent, because I think one group this week did get penalized because they were delaying the pace of play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he walks up to his ball. It's moving. He can't call an official to come, look at it.
And he's waiting for it to drop into the cup because that's a stroke for just a tap it.
But and then it ended up falling on its own. But because it was past 10 seconds, they gave him an extra stroke.
They set some stroke penalty on it, which...
Another rule that just makes no sense. But like I said, it's only on the green.
Mm-hmm.
Had that ball been on the fringe and kept rolling, they would just let it go.
Mm-hmm. And it is crazy because you can even just look at the sport of baseball now. They assessed last year a pitch clock, a pitch count, even rules to where the pitcher can only throw to first base so many times, and he has to get them out before they move to try to speed up the game.
Yeah.
If you're going to have the 10-second rule on the green, let's apply, like a 30-second, minute, or whatever it is on the fairways, tee shots, because there's a few there. Cantley was one of them that takes forever to take his next shot, and it would speed up the game. Like you said, it's one of those old rules. I don't know why it was a rule at the time because there wasn't a whole lot of people playing.
No.
It's not like there was a huge backup. It's just something they wrote. I mean, hell, the biggest rule for figuring out 18 holes was a whiskey bottle.
Yeah.
a whiskey bottle to determine the amount of holes. Like,
yep.
Oh, bottle's gone. That's it. I think there will be changes there, especially now, and we've said it in the past. There's so many more viewers that are looking at this and giving backlash. The PGA doesn't want backlash. No sports affiliate wants backlash. They want to be smooth. They want to be liked. They want people to be entertained and watched. They keep getting backlash like this when it comes to Rory, Ekro, or even the fans interfering with Ricky Fowler's shot this weekend that was yelling at him that caused him to miss hit.
Yeah.
There's going to be some changes, I think.
Well, it's also, I don't think it's all negative. It's just the fact that the sport of golf is getting bigger, so more people are watching it, more people are attending the tournaments. So it's one of those things that, are viewership is high, but with anything, the more people that watch it, the more higher percentage that you're gonna have some negative reviews or thoughts about it, and that just comes with the territory of
it does
being an entertainment industry business. Is you're gonna
and growing in the way it's doing.
Yeah,
but like I was saying earlier, there's cameras everywhere, so we're gonna see everything. We're gonna find a way to see it, and if we don't see it, someone's there with a phone catching every little thing.
Yeah,
and it is crazy that that's just the world it's come into where you gotta be careful. Yeah, you gotta watch it because someone's gonna find it, someone's gonna catch it. I do think there's gonna be some changes at the end of the PGA season, especially that 10-second rule with the Cup because there's been a few, and sometimes in like smaller tournaments they have fun with it, like they'll stand over the ball, do the whole shadow trick, no big deal there. But when you have a big tournament like this with the players, it's a little more intense and more strict when it comes to that stuff. So adding the extra stroke later at the end of the day, I think was a little interesting. They should have done it like right there.
I think they did.
Was it right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He's actually been playing pretty well on the leaderboard. Hasn't really made much of a splash, but he is sitting around, I think, the top 15 consistently.
Yeah.
Another young guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like I said, 3 week stretch. Florida golf courses. They are going to Valspar, and I believe it's the Copperhead course is what they call it. Mm-hmm. Which I love the course. The course has a great layout. It's phenomenal. It's one I play frequently on the Xbox PGA game because I do love the layout of it. Not a lot of big names in it. I think this is their week off. Because I think they start moving back west and going out to Texas in a couple weeks. It's opened the door, especially with having Liv and PGA and like the main guys leaving.
Yeah,
got a lot of younger guys coming in, people that we don't know, haven't seen. Xander Schauffele did stay in. Jordan Spieth, they are going to be there on the tee times this weekend, looking for their first win, something to boost them up in the FedEx points.
And speaking of Liv, I actually saw a thing today. So right now, Vegas was coming out with who has the highest odds to win the Masters. Which right now, Scottie Scheffler has the highest odds. He's the favorite. But a name that's on that list that I think a lot of people might have forgot about, I know I did, is Jon Rahm went to Liv, but he's still playing in the Masters. Mm-hmm. And I think the main reason for it is he's the defending champ, so I think he automatically gets an invite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
and then Brooks Koepka.
Is he going to be in it too?
I'm pretty sure he's in it. Dustin Johnson's probably in it because they've all won.
So that's one of those. That's one of those tournaments that we are going to see. Other than the Open, the U.S. Open and the Open, we know for sure are going to have.
Yep.
It's
definitely going to be one of those tournaments that really sets the tone for how good are these LIV golfers, because there is a lot of talent over there, but it's also going to show. It's basically PGA versus LIV.
Yeah. When
it comes down to that, and it's going to be great to see all of them on one field again, because Dustin Johnson, he was the number one for a while before he left for LIV. Jon Rahm was up there. He left. Brooks Koepka has just always played well. Now we got Scottie Scheffler, Wyndham Clark, Xander Schauffele, Jordan Spieth. They're still playing. Rory's still playing at these levels, but they're getting a lot of backlash right now. And I know what's Spieth's friend,
Justin
Thomas. He got a little bit of backlash from Brooks Koepka for not making the cut for the players.
Yeah. So
it's going to be interesting because I think there's a little bit more beef involved between the two, and that's going to be the first time they're all on a course.
We're going to have some of that PGA versus LIV rivalry that we saw last year when the division first came out. And I know you're going to say something. I still have not watched season 2 of Full Swing, so I will watch it and we'll discuss that next episode next week
when we get to it.
But we had some other exciting news. I know NFL free agency, a lot of chaos occurred. There were a couple names that we did not get to talk about last episode, but we're going to talk about them now. So I think the biggest one on the list is the Justin Fields going to the Steelers for little to nothing at all.
The Bears are nothing but...
The Bears are either they're either setting up for something big in the draft because they do have two first round top 10 draft picks, which, and I think what the Bears did by releasing Justin Fields is they have answered the question: are the Bears taking Caleb Williams number 1? And I think it's 100% a for sure answer. They're taking him number 1 no matter what now.
Just go ahead and trade the number 1. Trade your 2 first round picks and bring Patrick Mahomes over there with your weapons.
No, what I would.
I mean,
if we're talking about,
we're doing crazy stuff. Anyways.
If we're talking about things that are never going to happen, how about the Bears just draft Bo Nix number 1 overall?
Just take JJ McCarthy. He'll hand the ball off to the running backs back there, whoever's back there.
But no, I was very surprised by Justin Fields getting
a lack of return.
Yeah, I think the Bears just single-handedly.
They just threw him away.
They just showed the rest of the NFL that they do not know what their value is because they just completely just whiffed the ball on the Justin Fields market because there were teams out there that would pay more or offer more than just 2 6-round picks.
But what if you can't afford it? Because and you do got to look at it. Everyone always sees, the number 1 pick. That's great. That's significantly more signing bonus money than the number 2 pick. And there's a lot there. Now, had they traded Justin Fields away for, a second or third round pick, maybe they didn't have the money because they did go get a lot of weapons.
They didn't even get money out of the deal that I don't think.
No, they just got a pick, and it's a conditional 6th, or, yeah.
6th,
that could be a 4th.
Yeah.
If he plays 51% of the snaps. Now, the crazy thing is he went to a team that just signed Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So he's going to the Steelers with Russell Wilson
starting,
and he's backing him up.
Steelers have already announced that Justin Fields is not a starter. He is a backup to Russell Wilson. So, Steelers Nation, let's ride. I mean, I don't get it.
I'm excited to see what his...
I just don't... I don't understand the thought process as to why the Bears would let him go for as little as they did, unless if maybe Justin Fields... I mean, I don't think he's came out and said it publicly, but what if he requested a trade? What if he was...
He might have wanted out because he did probably hear through the grapevine, as they say, hey, we're getting Caleb Williams, what do you want? Let's go sit behind Russell Wilson, who has been in these moments, has made the Super Bowls, has done great things. Yeah, the last, year or two hasn't been lights out. Going to the Steelers with the weapons they have, the defense... It could completely change. Sit behind him for a year, maybe take that starting spot, make a jump there.
What if Justin Fields just came out as a running back? That would be crazy.
Swap him over to a receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the speed. Run a little wildcat. I mean, you got a 2-quarterback system because Wilson can still run too. But I do think the biggest winner so far when it comes to just the quarterback spot, Steelers got 2 starting quarterbacks.
Steelers got 2 starting quarterbacks
for like $5 million for the year. That's their hit.
And then Kenny Pickett just leaving Pittsburgh to go sit behind Jalen Hurts at Philly.
Yeah, they lost Mariota, so they needed someone to sit on the bench for him, hold his jacket.
I didn't understand that either. I know people were giving Pickett a lot of backlash for the way that he acted after the Russell Wilson signing.
He wasn't terrible though.
Which he wasn't terrible. I mean, he had an honest reaction. He was told that he was a starter. Now, nothing in the NFL is guaranteed, except for, some of these guaranteed contracts. But,
yeah.
I mean...
Where does he go, though? I mean, looking at what happened with all the quarterback changes and the teams that are taking a quarterback and the quarterbacks available in the draft, if you look back at his draft class, most of them that got drafted, they are not starting next year. Which is crazy. It wasn't Pickett, Mac Jones...
I think Pickett would have been...
Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
He's not starting now. Pickett's not starting. Mac Jones isn't starting. Sitting behind Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder's going to be sitting now because Kirk Cousins went over there. He's going to take... It's
going to be crazy.
It's been one of the craziest free agencies. And
I'm excited to see who's the starting quarterback at every team coming up this season. Because one team right now that I don't think has a starting quarterback is the New England Patriots. I know they picked up Jacoby Brissett, which I liked Brissett in Cleveland.
He's solid, and I mean they they have their two that backed up Mac Jones that know the system, so I think they're okay with managing a game. They could also be the ones like, we did it, 40-something years ago. Let's try it again, and let's go get J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's already shaping up to be a spectacular NFL season, and the off season just started.
And just to kind of,
I mean, we had the Super Bowl a month ago.
Yeah. Just to poke the bear a little bit, you guys have signed 3 more quarterbacks. Yeah. And you already have one of the highest guaranteed quarterbacks.
Do not know what we're doing up there in Cleveland. I really don't.
You did lose 3 quarterbacks in the season last year, so I don't know if that's just sitting in the back of their head.
We're signing quarterbacks. We also hired Mike Vrabel from the Titans as a coaching consultant. Yeah. I don't really know what that means. I know everyone wanted Vrabel to go to New England, and obviously that didn't happen. So why he's coming to Cleveland to be a coaching consultant, or
maybe he's doing like the dude that went to Ohio State.
Oh, Chip Kelly.
Maybe he's being like Chip Kelly, and he's just like, let's just have fun.
That or that Stefanski's on the hot seat. I didn't think he would be, but I know a lot of people in Cleveland don't like him, and I think just like a lot of people in Columbus don't like Ryan Day, it's all comes down to the head coach making the play calls. Mm-hmm. It just that pattern just doesn't work.
And if it does, it's a rare anomaly that it actually does work.
Yeah.
And if it does, it's not for very long. It's going to be interesting. And just to kind of tail back, because I know we talked about it a couple episodes ago, this would probably be the craziest free agency in start of the season. Imagine if they didn't have any news on it. Like, we just didn't know. I know you can't keep it out, but imagine this year, with all the running backs, all the quarterbacks, the receivers.
If we didn't know who got traded where, and just week 1, Saquon Barkley walks out of the tunnel at Philadelphia, and everyone just loses their mind.
Well, imagine being a Panthers fan. You're like, all right, we had a rough time. We got Atlanta game 1, which I don't think that's their first week, but that they would play them. We got Atlanta game 1. Who we playing? Is that Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So it's crazy to think that all these changes have happened, and we don't know what's going to happen with it. I mean, you've had this quarterback that's been Kirk Cousins with the Vikings for so long. It's like, yeah, we love this guy. Let's just go down here and change everything up.
Which I almost feel bad for Kirk because he's not a bad quarterback. He just has never had a chance to be the franchise QB. He hasn't been able to set his roots.
No.
He's gotten bounced around. I know he's at Atlanta, he was at Vikings, he was at Washington, and he was at another team before that. I can't think of who it was.
It wasn't the Jets.
But he's...
one of those. But yeah, he's definitely moved around, but he's obviously done enough for someone to say, yeah, no, we'll take that guy.
Yeah.
And he's doing great. The astronaut got traded today, or moved.
Josh Dobbs?
Josh Dobbs got picked up by the 49ers. Because if you remember, Sam Darnold got moved, so they don't really have a backup.
Sam Darnold's going to the Vikings, ain't he? Mm-hmm. Which, if there were any trade rumors for Jefferson, if I was Jefferson, I would probably ask for a trade now. I don't know if I would want to play with Sam Darnold.
No, yeah, he's definitely
nothing.
He's going to be the biggest news break. On top of if you want to swap fields now, go from offense to defense. Chase Young is going to the Saints.
Which,
why?
It made no sense to me because they picked him up at San Fran. He helped lead San Fran to the Super Bowl. Because
played real well.
Chase Young and Nick Bosa, on the same defensive line at the same time, gave me flashbacks of being a Buckeye fan. But
yeah.
That's another trade that just doesn't make sense to me. Because what did San Francisco get out of it?
They didn't get anything. Well, he was a free agent.
But still, so they picked him up just for half of a season.
Basically, I mean, they just got him. They're like, all right, let's make a run. Let's take this guy for now. Whatever the trade they had originally when they got him from Washington, and now he's going to the Saints to play with DeMarco Murray, Tyrann Mathieu, who was with the Chiefs, who re-signed with the Saints. The Saints kind of built a decent defense that I think their division is going to not want to play.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how these pieces kind of fit. I do think it kind of leveled a lot of the playing field with this stuff. The draft just got a little more important, though.
The draft got important. And then how about with all of the trades and free agents going to different teams and just the pure chaos of the past 2 weeks have been, the one team that has done absolutely nothing
but hurt themselves
is the boys down in Dallas.
Old America's team.
Yeah. What in the F is going on over there? Because
who's their starting running back right now?
Rico Vaughn. Is Vaughn the dude from
Deuce Vaughn, who's
from TCU?
5'4". Yeah. And then you've got I think Rico Dowdle's still there. Who?
Yeah.
And they've always been known for their running backs.
And who are they picking up from the draft? I mean,
there's nobody really. It's not a running back class this year.
It's a wide receiver class. I mean,
wide receiver, a few quarterbacks, and then defense heavy.
Then maybe that running back from Missouri, the one that we.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Cowboys have completely dropped the ball. The one team that you would think would have the most money possible to pick up whoever they want has now completely just shot themselves in the foot.
And loses, and I know he's not a big name because you have CeeDee Lamb as your wide receiver one. They released Michael Gallup, who got picked up already, and then released Leighton Vander Esch, which ended up retiring right after, which I do think that was a money thing, and he was done. He is older. I mean, he's had his injuries. I think it was easier for them to release him so they didn't pay him, and then him just retire after. Because if he retired, they'd have to pay him out through the contract.
So that whole organization right now is on the hot seat, just in general. If they don't win an NFC title this next coming season, then there's going to have to be serious questions for Mike McCarthy, who's already on the hot seat, Dak Prescott, who's already on the hot seat.
I think he's fine though with his guaranteed contract he got 2 years ago. He's
going to be fine, but if McCarthy does not start the season like they started last season, where they get 12-4 and are in the race to win their division, Jerry Jones is pulling the plug.
And this is only because I heard someone else talking about it. What have they done year in and year out? They go make crazy moves in free agency, get these guys. We're going to do it, and then end up with the same result. So maybe now, let's kind of save some money, regroup, figure some stuff out. We know we can win games.
Well, that's the thing, is they don't have a group to regroup. They are just releasing players. They're not getting players.
But they still have draft picks that they could use but don't need, or they can use as trade value later with everything going on. Because so many people have shifted around. Maybe they didn't want part of those waves, because what if all these shifts don't work? Then again, you could also just play the other side. Dallas, the Big D, divisional round, that's where they stop.
Yeah, that's all
they're not getting through there. I mean, they look great throughout the season. They're putting up crazy numbers. Dak Prescott's, phenomenal numbers on paper. Dropped his interception numbers, but can't win the big ones.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody. Obviously, winning a Super Bowl is the goal of every NFL team, but that's not the only reason why a team would define a season to be successful.
Look at the Browns and Lions this year.
Because our season was successful.
Yeah,
but
made the playoffs. That's kind of what we're aiming for now at this point. Is
Jerry Jones has been fighting for a Super Bowl his entire life and still does not have one. Or I could be wrong with that statement. He hasn't had one in my lifetime.
Yeah, no.
So it's one of those things. If it doesn't come soon, he's going to probably lose it.
Which is crazy though, because if you look at the kind of heat he's getting for not winning a Super Bowl, he hasn't even been in one.
Yeah,
where the Niners, I think, are actually even longer as far as a Super Bowl drought. They've been to 2 in the last 4 years now.
Yeah.
So they're at least showing up and getting there. It's going to be interesting. I do kind of want to tail back into the Bears. I know there's a lot of people that aren't fans of Caleb Williams with how he handled the whole combine and everything.
Yeah.
As a quarterback, knowing you're about to sign a contract to play for a team, and right now it's the Bears, how would you feel after seeing what they just did to Justin Fields, who is our guy? We love him. We're great. Never built around him. They finally built around him, get receivers, get a running back. Justin Fields has a team. What are we going to do? We're going to keep him.
They didn't even wait for him to get healthy either.
And then they moved him for a 6th-round pick. You're Caleb Williams. You're going in. Are they going to do that to me?
I mean,
that's definitely got to be in his. That's got to be in his head, though.
I don't think so because he carries himself so confidently to the point it's almost cocky. Mm-hmm. But he carries himself so confidently that he knows who he is. So right now, in his mind, all he's probably thinking about is, they just let my competition go. Now it's my job. I can take it. So maybe that's all it was.
I mean, it definitely helps, makes his life easier. But personally, if I was going in as a rookie quarterback, I would like the starting job. It would be great. But also having a veteran around there to kind of help you out, because no one else is going to want to help you out now.
Yeah.
Because you've come in so cocky. His biggest thing is going to be, can he win the locker room?
Yeah.
That's going to be a deciding factor on how his season goes and his career.
Yep.
But it was crazy to see the way the organization the Bears organization handled the whole situation. And for a second there I was thinking, okay, maybe they traded him to the Steelers for a 6th round. Maybe the Steelers are going to move Russ or Justin Fields somewhere else. They've done nothing. Nothing except say, we've got 2 starting quarterbacks for $5 million.
I think the Steelers right now are leading the league with the free agency moves. With Baltimore probably being right behind them by picking up Derrick Henry.
And I think right now, if I remember, the Commanders have the most cap space. After everything has been settled, which, you got to remember, Deron Payne and Chase Young, they got rid of mid-season, right before the trade deadline, which freed up a lot of money. And now they've made a few moves here and there.
Well, the Commanders also, they are in a rebuilding organization. They're kind of like how Indy was
rename.
Yeah, they're kind of like how Indy was a couple years ago, except for now it's not the locker room that needs changing; it was the front office that needed changing. Mm-hmm. So they're getting under new ownership, so they're starting fresh from the ground up. So
I think there's gonna be some new teams that move up and flirt with that 10 to 12 win season that people don't expect. Watch out for Tampa.
Yeah,
they're coming back healthy. Baker's got his contract. He's playing to win now. They asked him, "Why don't you go for the money? Money's nice. I want to win. I want to win." He wants to win more than anything, which is great to see in a quarterback, especially a young quarterback like that with the weapons he has. And then watch out for Atlanta.
Yeah,
you obviously got your powerhouse. You got the Niners. You got the Chiefs. They're gonna come around. The Bills are still gonna be in there, and Joe Burrow's coming back healthy.
Yep.
He might be the one putting the final nail in a lot of coffins for these guys. So I think we got a great season ahead.
We got
it's too far away. It's too far away.
Well, we got opening day for baseball coming up in next week and a half.
Can't wait.
And then we got the Masters next month, and then the draft soon after that. So stay tuned.
But wait, it starts tomorrow, I think. It actually play-in is today. March Madness is going on. We're going to try to fill out a bracket. We'll put it up in the video somewhere and follow along, make your own, see what you want. And that's going to be at least something to watch. Florida made it. I'm excited. We came in as a 7 seed. We got one of the play-ins through a 10 seed. Sweet 16. I'd be okay with that kind of result. We go farther. I did make a bracket. I got them winning. I got to repeat with them in Auburn somehow. I don't know. But, hey, I'm excited. I'm ready for the upsets. Biggest take, James Madison beating Wisconsin in the first round.
Think that's happening?
Money's on it. House is on it.
Oh, Lord.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
All right. So, you heard it here first.
James Madison over Wisconsin. Tail it.
All right. See you guys next week.